Hello and welcome to PS, Such a Connection. I'm P.
And I'm S. Happy Valentine's Day.
That's better.
Thank you. I tried that time.
You were like, you're going to be cynical, and then you were like, no, I'll be sweet.
We're here talking about episode 7 of The Bachelor,
Yes.
which means there are 3 left.
Technically 4 because of the women tell all.
Yes, you're right. And after the final rose and all of that stuff. I have this chocolate. Pam, you can eat some too.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Free game. So how did this episode start off? I don't remember.
It was with everyone crying because he
Hmm.
went in and he told people stuff.
Yeah, they did. I'm crying. They probably didn't have chocolate like we had to like soothe them, make them feel better.
They just had champagne and hard liquor.
Useless. And Nick goes to talk to Chris Harrison on a beach.
Unfortunately.
Should have, but they're on an island. How could we have gotten that wrong?
Yeah. Whatever.
And he was like, Chris Harrison, I'm super sad. I'm having like a sad.
And Chris Harrison was like, I hear this every fucking year. Could you people pull it together?
And Nick was like, oh, go on.
Sorry, I saw a tweet from, I think it was Sean Lowe, who was like, well, they're contractually obligated to give the show to have a full season.
Yes.
So there was like no way that he could have left. Not that I was under the impression that he was leaving, but I saw that and I thought it was funny because I've never like really thought about it like that before. Sorry. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day and I don't have a boyfriend, so I'm just gonna shove chocolate in my face and you can't stop me.
Valentine's Day isn't for boyfriends, it's for chocolate.
I'm
sorry. And I'm here to provide that for you.
Thank you. I just meant like, I'm also like talking with my mouth full of chocolate. And I don't care.
No one cares.
So, yeah, Nick decides to stay. Surprisingly.
What? Yeah.
And
I don't want this one.
Then Vanessa gets the first one-on-one date of the week. And this is when they change everything up and they throw a wrench into everything and they're like, oh, no one on the one-on-one dates gets the chance at a rose and only the group date gets a rose. So
I thought that was usually what happened. No?
No, yeah. But it's just like compared to the past weeks.
Gotcha.
This is the week that they're like, they just throw everything into the fire. So Vanessa goes on the date and they go on the boat and they go snorkeling under the old sunken ship.
What's happening right now? The sunken ship was
Mine's
cool.
doing it too. I was like, no, that's not even fair. Like, I want to do that. It wasn't like a cool pirate ship though, so I wasn't that angry, but
Vanessa like is fine, but like I'm not impressed.
it was boring.
It was boring.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say about her date.
No, yeah. There's nothing else. It was a cool date. I'm sure they're both cool people, but
Oh, like she also told Nick that like I'm falling in love with you. And he was like, I think you are like so cool. I like you a lot. Thank you. Oh my god. And Vanessa like wasn't having it. And I was like, have you watched the show before? Like, were you expecting a Ben Higgins week 7? I will only tell you that I love you forever. I love you forever.
To two people, right?
To all of the rest of the 6 women, he's going to tell that to.
What if he did that? He was just like, fuck it all. I love you all.
I would love that. I would be like, Nick is done. It is so clear. And I love it. But that didn't happen, and Vanessa was like angry about it, and I was like,
Yeah. I mean, I get it if you're in the moment and you're like wanting a response back.
But I also think she's like so full of herself. What?
I mouthed yeah just a little bit.
Yes, just a
but
little
I was
bit.
gonna refrain from saying it, but I did anyway, so. Yeah, so then there's the 3-on-1 with Christina, Raven, and Corinne. And Nick, I mean, they cut it so poorly, I think, because they only showed him with Christina. And then they showed all 3 conversations with the girls. But they were really, like, leaning heavily on Christina. And then
We found out later why.
yeah, but it's still even dumb to do it like that.
Yeah,
like, why
it's
wouldn't
so
you
dumb.
show what he's doing with Raven, who gets the rose?
Yeah.
Like, he was rubbing all up on Christina. And Corinne was, like, rubbing herself, like, I have boobs too, and they need to be rubbed. So, and him, she was like, and he was like over here. And she's like, I got,
Like rubbing Christina's
I
inner
don't want
thigh.
your shoulder to get.
Yeah, that's how normal dates go, I think.
Yeah, I would love to be on one of those dates.
All of the
I
dates
definitely wouldn't murder anyone on one
I've
of those
been
dates.
on have been with 2 other women and 1 man.
Yeah.
But what else happens? I don't know.
They go swimming with sharks and Christina gets scared. And Nick goes up onto the boat and is like chilling with Christina. I thought that was super cool. Also, so I was talking to Michaela towards the end of the episode, and I was like, it was as he was heading to the house, and I was like, I think he might send Vanessa home. And she was like, which one's that? And I was like, it was the girl that they went on the boat and they went snorkeling, and she was like, there were 2 dates like that, Pam. So she pointed out that they aren't very creative in their dates this season.
True.
So.
And then did anything else interesting happen on that date at all? Raven was like, I'm gonna punch a shark in the face. And it was a good moment.
Because she's perfect, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the only, like, good thing about that date, really, this was a really boring episode.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, Corinne goes and tries to have sex with him, but, like, nothing dramatic happened. Yeah. It really wasn't dramatic. Or, like, entertaining, which was really the big thing here. But, anyway. Twitter was super funny during that whole shark situation because Corinne had mentioned that she was bloated, so a lot of period jokes and sharks were going around. It was a lot of fun. Twitter was a lot of fun during that period of time. So then Danielle M gets the next.
Danielle M.
One-on-one date.
Yeah, she was... I mean, I kind of thought it from the beginning. She's too soft-spoken and sweet for him.
I had my money on her. And I also had our Bachelor pool on her.
Oh, really?
So we've lost.
Okay.
But
oh well,
it's fine. At least I got 2 of the hometown dates right.
For the win we had for Danielle?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you had to put that in week 1?
Mm-hmm. I at least called that she was going to get the first one-on-one date, which she did.
That's
good.
I
thought she was going to pull it out and go all the way to the end, but I was wrong.
That's okay.
And she went home, so I lost.
These things happen.
Yeah, I guess I didn't like, they were playing basketball with children and they were just holding it away from the children. And I was like, you are horrible people.
Yeah. Also, like, yeah, it was awkward. It was awkward with Danielle, and that's it, I
Okay,
guess.
good.
That's all I know.
So yeah, he
What's
sent
in this?
Danielle home.
I was fine with it. Besides the fact that I guess we lost now. But
Yeah. I wasn't as fine with it because we lost, but I also felt like really bad for being like, fuck, she's going home, and it not being because I like really loved her.
Yeah.
I was like, ah, darn, she's going home, and that means I lose. Also, I'm sorry that your heart was broken. But that's
Yeah.
mainly just an afterthought.
Yeah, I kind of expected her to be like a Jade almost, because Jade, Chris Soules' season, was like this soft-spoken, sweet, just like Danielle. And then she comes from behind and is this like awesome person, and I loved her, and I really kind of to the finish was just uninterested in Danielle. Nothing against her, but just like that probably actually makes her a really phenomenal person that she doesn't make good TV because she's just kind of sweet. But
all right, so then Raven goes on her one-on-one date.
Rachel.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry. Now that it's down to like the fun, every time I've written a tweet for either of them, I type the other one's name first and then have to go back. So yes, Rachel's one-on-one. Which was like good. I don't really remember it that much. I know they went to like that little bar that they were like, this is like a local place that locals go to, and it's like not anymore.
Yeah. But it was super cute. They talked to that bartender. It pretty much like to me felt like they were just hanging out and it was normal. They talked a lot about hometowns.
That's what I feel like. First of all, a lot of the dates have been this season, and a lot of his dates with like a lot of his interactions with Rachel have been. They just seem like they're already dating, and it's like to that point where they're just so natural together.
I know, and I love it. And he just like the way he talks about meeting her family and like his how invested he is in like making a good impression with her dad and like just seems like to me like he already knows she's the winner, but the way so we have not watched the actual reveal, but I've just been hearing a lot of Twitter gossip that the next Bachelorette is Rachel.
Yeah.
And two things. That makes me really sad because that makes me think she doesn't win. And two, it really happy because I love her. And I want to see more of her.
Yeah, I love her so much, and like I want to watch her on the show. Like it's between Raven and Rachel for me for who I would want to see on The Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like Rachel has such good chemistry with him. And what if, okay, now stick with me now because this is like I'm putting on my tinfoil hat and like what if they announced that, or they will announce, or whatever they're doing, it's Rachel who's going to be the next Bachelorette, and he proposes to Rachel.
Oh, God. Then poor Nick.
Yeah.
That would be really bad. Even that they did that to him.
Yeah.
Like,
not that I would put it past them to do that to him.
No. Yeah, if he proposes to her, and either she says yes, and then now we know she's the Bachelorette, then we know it didn't work. And if she says no, That's 3 times. So
Yeah.
I really hope. So if she's the Bachelorette, I hope.
And I mean, like, think about it from this point of view, right? Because they announced Nick being the Bachelor
Mm-hmm.
before his finale where they showed him getting engaged.
He didn't get engaged.
Well, yeah, yeah, I got you. So they show before he's supposed to get engaged, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I don't really think they were expecting the kind of backlash that they got when he didn't propose, but like they knew that he wasn't going to propose. So they had that and they wanted to announce him so that it wouldn't be like they were announcing. I mean, this is just me thinking that maybe this was their train of thought. They wouldn't be announcing in the same day that this man just turned someone down that he was going to be the next Bachelor. So they're also announcing the Bachelorette really early. We know she makes it to the final 3 at least. So what if they propose and either she says no or they've already broken up, but they don't want to announce immediately afterwards that they've already broken up and that she's going to be the next Bachelorette?
Yes. I hope that doesn't happen.
Me too. That would be
That would
horrible.
be horrible. And also, like, so we've watched Nick for a few seasons now, and like, the first season when he was on Caitlyn's season, I hated his guts. I hated
Technically
his
his second
guts.
season.
Second season, because I still haven't seen Andy's season, but I hated his guts on Caitlyn's season.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I was really turned around with Bachelor in Paradise, and then I like started to root for him. And now it's just like now I'm really just gonna start to feel bad.
Literally anyone. Like, Tiara could come back and be on another season and then be on Bachelor in Paradise and then be on a show and not get engaged. And I would be like, oh my god, like, that's
Yeah,
horrible.
anyone.
That's so much to go through. Like, the stress of just, like, putting aside your life to go on a show to begin with, going on all of the emotions that you feel there, all of the emotions that they try to get out of you there, like it's just
A mess.
I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I hope that this is all just speculation that
Yeah.
is completely wrong, but
Well, we'll know tonight.
yeah, and we also don't have confirmed. I think it's pretty much confirmed, but we don't have confirmed that Rachel
Yeah.
is going to be the next Bachelorette. At this point in time.
Yeah. And to me, okay, if Rachel doesn't win though, let's just say they're not horrible and Rachel's the next Bachelorette and she's not the winner, right?
Mhm.
Who else would like okay, so then the only other way we're happy then is if he ends up with Raven,
Mhm.
because we'd be happy with that. But for me, like he doesn't have as much of a I don't know. I don't want it to be Vanessa.
See, I wouldn't mind if it were Vanessa.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
I guess
know,
they
like
kind of fit. I just don't like her.
yeah, like I'm not the biggest fan of Vanessa, but like I could see them working together or whatever.
Yeah.
Um and even like at this point, like I don't care if Corinne wins. Like
I care. I still care if Corinne wins.
it's so dumb.
Just because, and purely
But
because I want it to work out for him, and it would clearly, like, if
yeah.
only because, not because they like wouldn't love each other or like
Mhm.
be happy for a while, but only because like it's clear that Corinne like isn't ready to get married and would not be a good wife.
Yeah.
Like the kind of like supportive like
She wouldn't be a good partner.
Yeah, a
Like
good partner.
someone who's there for you and
And could
understands that
be-
you go through things.
Yeah, and could be mature about that kind of thing. So I don't want Nick to end up with Corinne. Christina went home.
Yes. Which I was like, it's gonna be Vanessa or because I feel like the same thing. Like I don't see him and
Yeah.
Vanessa together, but like at this point, I don't fucking know anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, he's probably gonna end up with Vanessa or Corinne because they were the two people I didn't think he would end up with.
Yeah.
And yeah, I even thought Christina he might end up going
Yeah, I
and
thought
proposing
maybe
to.
Christina at this episode going through, I was like, maybe Christina's like the black sheep, like she kind of comes out of the
Yeah.
woodwork and steals the show, similar to the way Catherine did on Sean's season.
Mhm.
I make that reference a lot, but then she didn't, and she went home.
Yeah. Which she was like mad.
Was she? I missed the last.
Yeah,
few
she
minutes.
didn't get to see the last few minutes, but she was like, "You aren't giving me a fair chance here," and he was like, and she was like, she was like, "This is on you that this didn't work out," and he was
Way
like,
to go. Way to go.
And he was like saying things that made a lot of sense, like, you know, there's a lot of emotions that are going to happen in the next couple of weeks, and I just have stronger relationships with other girls in the house, so I don't want to put you through that if it's not going to end up in something. And she was like, fuck you, put me through it. Like,
yeah.
we could go through it and come out on the other side and be happy. And he was like, I just think that maybe that's not a good decision.
Yeah.
So yeah, and she went home, and none of the girls know that she went home as far as we've seen. So they're all like, what's happening? Is this like he's pulling all the girls aside and talking to them, or is this like he's sending them home? Is this like there's gonna be another girl? Like, what's gonna happen? Oh my goodness. So, and they showed on the promo for next week a table with 3 roses on it, and they're like, we still don't know if there's gonna be a rose ceremony, but like, I'm not convinced because one of the girls in the house has a rose, so why would there be 3 roses on that table? Thank you very much. Because they would all get one. So that's clearly at the end of next episode.
Yes.
No one else goes home.
Yeah. So I thought this was going to be an awesome episode, and it was kind of just like...
Yeah. Oh, we
Yeah.
didn't even talk about him and Corinne, like, almost sleeping together,
Oh,
because it
yeah.
was such a non-moment.
Yeah, it was like... Because they built it up all season.
All season. And she walks in, she's like, hey, do you want to have sex? And he's like, no, thanks. And then she leaves.
And that's all
And that was it. And I was like, why?
Which...
It's like going to see 50 Shades of Grey, which I can't really talk about because I've never read the book or seen the movie or anything, but I've heard reviews, and it's like, you watch the trailer and you're like, I'm gonna be pumped for this, and then you go see the movie and or read the book or whatever, and you're like, it just completely falls flat.
And, like, Christian Grey is the guy's name, right? So, like, imagine 50 Shades of Grey, where Christian Grey is, like, waiting till marriage. So, like, so nothing happened, and that was that. But she still stayed, above Christina. And then... Yeah, I mean, good on Nick. Good for him.
I almost feel, and again, I have no fucking clue what's happening, so maybe he's in so much love with her, but I almost feel like he was like, can't send her home because, like, I really embarrassed her last night, and, like...
Yeah. That could have been.
Yeah.
That could have been, too.
Or they were like, we need to fucking meet Rochelle.
Yeah, maybe.
Nick, so, like... You're keeping Corinne.
Yeah, that's entirely a possibility. But
what if Corinne, like, pulls it around next week and she's, like, super sweet and, like, nice with her family?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I don't know. I don't know anymore.
I still feel like there's something to be said about not being able to be friends with other girls. Although it seems like at this point she is kind of friends with the other girls. Yeah, it seems
like she's like calmed down, reined it in.
She's still a little like much.
Yeah. But it's not often that the person they make out to be like the villain gets to the top four.
Yeah,
Right? It's
or gets cheese towers built on them.
Yeah. I wasn't there for that part.
Oh, the closing clip that they showed was Raven building a cheese tower. It was first 2 stacks of cheese and then it fell over and she went for 3 and it stayed up. Her and Christina.
I went like this when I meant to go like this, so.
Gotcha. Because Raven is a fucking boss.
Yeah.
And will punch a shark in the face and will beat up a guy with a shoe. Perfect.
And all of these things. I do.
So, yeah, on that note,
follow us on Twitter at Such a Connection. We live tweet every week. And we're awesome.